Thank you for coming. I wanted to start off this equinox celebration with something called a transformance, which is something that I put together with my dear friend Gary Malkin. And it's a way to sort of drop in together. So I'm going to play that now, just a few minutes. So if you all just want to kind of sit back and relax. Here we go. Hope you can hear that. Can you hear that?
In this moment.
No. Okay.
Yes, it's just very faint.
Oh, let me put it up.
We still ourselves.
I'm going to start it over.
You could go double volume.
Okay. How's that?
Better.
In this moment. We still ourselves. We let all cares and concerns drop away. We move into the core of our beings. And rest. Let us take a collective breath. And a deep invoking of gratitude for this opportunity to gather to become as one. To connect our hearts, our minds, and all of ourselves. In this one precious moment.
And it is a precious moment to be celebrating a momentous day. And by that, I do not mean my birthday. I mean the turning of an age, because that's what this is. If we look at the astrology, and as you know, we all love our Pam Gregory. She did a beautiful post about today, about the fact that not only are there 9 celestial beings at 0 degrees Aries, which she says in her lifetime she has never seen. But there are also there's also the end of the Kali Yuga, which is said to finish as of today. And the Kali Yuga has been a rough slog. And the good news is we're on our way up and out. So I encourage you to check out Pam's Equinox broadcast, because it's quite something. And one of the things that she brings up is how many of the planets are in a watery sign, or are watery themselves, which means that for the next year, probably there will be issues around water. But we also have to remember, and she talks about this, and Jan and I talked about this 15 years ago when we were confronted with the infinity wave. And I started to ask, why is it watery? What's the point of the water? And believe it or not, we did not know about structured water back then. All we knew about was Dr. Emoto, and in the sense that he was structuring water with thought or with intention or emotion. Yes, that was there, but we didn't have the term structured water, and we had just barely scratched the surface of what water truly is. And I don't believe we're even there yet. But thanks to people like Theta Austin, it has become much more widespread, the understanding that water is consciousness, and it is something that is much, much bigger than our daily taking our bottles and drinking it down, and that it carries vibration, and the vibrations are happening within our own bodies. So this is a year of further developing our consciousness around water, our awareness of what it is, what it means to us, how to treat it, how to treat our own bodies with it. And the other piece about water is that it is the embodiment really of compassion. And so when the infinity wave revealed itself as the carrier of 10th dimensional love and compassion, it became obvious that it had to be in the element of water. And it is a great communicator, as we know. So that's the setup. What happens on the equinox, which is considered the beginning of the astrological year, has an influence over the entire 12 months. So I encourage you to look at Pam's broadcast and, just listen in, see how it feels to you. This is quite a time, as we know, and it's easy to sort of lose track of the bigger picture. And when there's so much turbulence and so much that hurts our hearts, we can find ourselves adrift. And I found myself really wondering, what do I do next? Like, I kind of felt in limbo, and I've been in limbo before, and I've learned not to push against limbo, that limbo holds a great deal of potency because it's where the new thing can be developing. But accompanying that limbo was a kind of anxiety, because I had gotten too in the story and I needed to back myself out. So I went to my guide teams. I went to Yeshua and Mary, and they reminded me that this is a process that we came here actually to be a part of, that the evolutionary forces that are on the move now and gaining momentum all the time are exactly what's planned for now. That's hard to accept sometimes when we look at what's in the field. I listened by chance to a interview between Regina Meredith and a man named Daryl Schoon, Schoon. And I highly recommend that you listen to that on Gaia. He talked about how these epochs can be of a level 1 or a level 2. Level 1 would be caused by humans, where whatever the humanity is doing on the planet, and we know there have been many pre-civilizations on this planet before ours, that whatever humanity is doing caused a big shift, caused things to change so dramatically that humanity would be almost wiped out. But this time, this is not one of those. This is a galactic, a universal evolutionary push. And I was listening to him and I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what the very first vision of this wave coming in was saying. This wave represents a push of evolution that is coming to the planet. And that if we could, our job was to learn how to swim with it, surf it, not resist it, because resisting would make it much, much more difficult. So to hear him say that very recently, and from his Native American perspective, that was very encouraging. And so when I asked my guide team, and going back to this funk I was finding myself in, they said that being sort of not just in limbo, but in the maelstrom of an emotional limbo, they said that's part of it. That's part of it. We need to not resist that tumult, because it's part of our evolution. And the more that we don't resist it, we go into it, we fold into it, into our grief, really. The more we are moved through it and out to the other side. So I wanted to share those two resources with you, because these things can drop into our phones or our computers at any moment. We don't open them all. But when we do open one and it just speaks to the heart of what we're experiencing, I think it's important. And so that's why I'm sharing it. Another aspect of this is the increasing number of extraterrestrial sightings, ships. I have a friend out in Sedona who is posting all the time. Every night there are many, many sightings. And of course, my favorite experiencer is Chris Bledsoe, who wrote the book UFO of God. And his book is what inspired me to take groups to Mount Shasta and Sedona last year in order to see if we could make contact. And we did have sightings, especially in Mount Shasta. We had many, many flyovers, and one in particular, pretty low. So Chris Bledsoe, if you haven't heard him speak, he's been on Gaia, he's been on many interview shows. You can look him up, and it's B as in boy, L-E, D as in dog, S-O-E. He's a very humble man, and he's had an interaction with a being called the Lady. This lady has spoken to him many times and predicted certain things, and they have come true. She has said to him in the not too distant past that when the star of Regulus lines up with the Sphinx in Egypt, that there will be a great change, that we will have a renewed state, and almost like a second coming, actually. I just, again, happened to I have an interview with him where he is stating this, and he said, "This is the first time I've said it out loud, but it might be a second coming of Yeshua." And I went to ask Yeshua that question, and I did not receive an answer. They don't like me to know too much, but I think it's interesting because the star of Regulus coming up right in line with the Sphinx is going to be Easter Sunday of this year. That's not too far away. And I'm very curious. Hopefully I'll get more answers between now and then, but it's something to think about. I'm throwing out the breadcrumbs to all of you because these are the things that have been gathering in my path. And it's not to put, too much emphasis, put them in a thought balloon, hold them lightly as possibilities. But I think when you add all of this together and this push of evolution idea, we are really on the brink. So this morning, I got up early and I went to have a channeling with my peeps. And Merlin, as usual, came in and, greeted me. And then he said, I know you have questions to ask, because I wanted to get a message for today. And for the first time ever, I waited and waited and waited and waited. And the only thing that came in was a brand new thing. It was the letter X. And I had a very different feeling in my body. And I said, okay. And I was a little nervous because it was hard to define, but not the usual elevated feeling. And I said, well, who are you? And tell me about yourself, And X said, I am the void. And I said, oh, tell me more. And he said, well, you know me very well, because that is where you go to rest. And this is true. I used to be quite afraid of the void many years ago, but then once I went there and I realized what it was, it's fantastic. I describe it, if you haven't heard me describe it before, as a kind of a black velvety womb. And on kind of contrary to what you might think, it is not empty. It is full of potential. So it's a great place to rest, and it's a great place to dream. Now, this year, I don't think it's an accident that it came in. This year that we're moving into, this moment, this 0 degree Aries, this leap, that would be the Fool card in the Tarot. This is the time to take all the dreams that we've been having while we've been spending a lot of time in Pisces. This is the time to put things into action, to take a leap forward for humanity. I think it's so interesting. If Chris Bledsoe is right, it's just around the corner that this change might happen. But it needs to happen with our participation and our excitement even. So I recommend venturing into the void, whatever that is to you, as a place of rest and dreaming. So when you come out of it, it can become actualized. Now, I want to talk a little bit about ways in which we respond to the current situation on Earth and the concept of enlightenment. Recently, I have read, and maybe you have too, pretty devastating accounts of the offstage presences of some of our most beloved teachers, yoginis, yogis, household names, and how they present themselves one way on stage. And I'm not saying that those are not accurate depictions of whatever is moving through them. But in their offstage life, they are not reflecting those attributes. Quite the opposite. And I've been thinking about that. It's heartbreaking for anybody who has followed the teachings of these people, because who can we trust? What can we trust? And I started to think about this, and I started to think about how to respond to things like this if we want to stay on an enlightened path. Because how we respond, as we well know, affects the field, right? So we want to try to respond from that highest place, what I call ringing the high bell. And it would be totally natural to have shock and awe, disgust, whatever, fill in the blank, because we are human and we're responding. But I decided to go out for a walk, a brief walk today, and just to say thank you for my life and greet the sun, as I always do, especially on a day like today. And as I was walking, I received a message. Oh, and I meant to tell you, when I said that nobody came except X, except the void, Merlin finally came back and he said, I'm doing the best I can, but there's a lot of need in the world right now. And I thought, oh my goodness, of course, talking to me on my birthday is not the number one thing to be doing. I felt a little bad about it, but my goal was to bring something here, but I got it on my walk. So, it's not just always going to dial up and you're going to get who you want. It's it's a good reminder. Anyway, I went for my walk, and here's what I received. My message to you today is to find the stillness, keep it simple, and forgive. What is enlightenment? There are many schools that have developed over thousands of years to identify the steps, the many levels to climb to a peak of enlightenment. But what if those aren't necessary anymore? And what if those constructs mattered at a certain point in time, but they don't as much now? When I look out at you, meaning everybody who's on this call, I see people who are lighter than when they entered the world. I see people who have partnered with life to grow, learn, change, and become lighter, enlightened. You are noble beings already. And the questing and searching for being more so is not necessary. This does not mean you stay exactly where you are. You will continue to partner with life and desire growth, but let us relax. Let us take a breath and acknowledge where we are, where we've come from. We arrived here with a purpose, and the purpose is to be prepared for now. So that we can take all of this wisdom, all this knowledge and experience, and turn it into a beacon of light. A way to show others that there is a path, and that if we stay calm and centered, we will find that we are exactly where we need to be, and will be beacons for those who are confused and searching. So when you meet what you perceive as evil, and this is not to say that evil does not exist, for it does. When we meet that, of course, we first respond with judgment, because we want to acknowledge on some level that we are not that. But as swiftly as possible, let us move to compassion, for someone has lost their way and become out of balance. They had good intentions initially, quite likely, but they have been led astray. From there, we can move to forgiveness, if not for them, then of ourselves, for any traces of what might resonate with us. Think about the infinity wave and the way it embodies balance. It would be mindful of us that when we go very high, as high as we can get in this physical body, that we need to balance that with a lust for life, a deepening into the dimensional world. And that might seem strange because we've been told to be in the world, but not of it. And I hope lived by that for a very long time. Yet, this is the world that holds us fast. This is the world that helps us remember that we are here, not disembodied. We're here for a reason. The biggest challenge is to go from those high places, those windows of wisdom, and then find a way to bring that into this realm and operate from that integrity. This is the hardest thing of all and the most necessary for evolving. So that was the message that came through as I was walking. I think the recipe is from judgment into compassion and from compassion into forgiveness, as we can, as we feel we are capable. And that I find that balance of the infinity wave might be the thing that gets out of whack. Not the infinity wave, but the balance might get out of whack with these teachers who go very far afield. They go high. I've been there. You get out. And I've had to anchor myself back into the earth because I lose my beingness. I've lost it in the past long ago. I've learned how to have to bring it back. And if you have the mechanism to go here, but you don't have the mechanism to go here, things are going to get wonky. And I can't help but wonder if that's what's happened with these teachers. So how do we navigate then from the we from the me of these experiences, this reality, and into what Pluto and Aquarius is asking us to do, which is to be the we, to go from the me to the we, which is something that we talked about 15 years ago, and why I originally named my company We Infinity, because it's about the we. I want to say that having this beautiful gathering of people, the people who come on Monday nights, the people who show up for the interviews that I offer on the podcast are part of this we-ness. And it means the world to me personally. And I think it means a lot to all of you who participate. So let's just keep showing up for one another in this new year, this new epoch that is going to be the way forward. And I look forward to it with all of you. Okay, I want to have a little time for Q&A. I want to leave a little time for transmission at the end. And I want to also ask your permission to, well, Jenny, should I do it now or later? Offer my party favor.
You can do it now.
Okay.
Feels right.
I want to offer you a party favor that has to do with the Dowsing course. And that is that I'm offering 30% off because I know it was priced a little higher than people are used to with me. I want to remind everybody that I have over 30 years experience and I've put a lot of time and energy and love into this course. It includes the introductory video, which is about an hour long. And I really enjoyed putting that together. It's included because if everybody watches that, we will all be on the same page when we begin the in-person classes, which start in April, early April, I think April 4th. And um, I want everybody to have the opportunity to use your own intuition. We all have it. We all have the capacity to communicate with forces outside of ourselves, let's say, our higher selves, whatever else is guiding us, the earth, all the beings on the earth, all of the things that wish to communicate with us can when we learn how to do this, use this tool. And it's a lifelong practice. It's an art form, I think. It came out of feng shui, which is an art form. And it's something that you never stop learning. I am always learning about it. And for my whole life, every choice I've taken for career and this and that, I've always chose something that would only improve with age. As I got older, I would become better at it. And that keeps it interesting, right? So there's a lot to learn about dowsing, and I'm still learning, but I have a lot to share. And most importantly, I want to be there encouraging you to not get stuck or, if you have questions or whatever, I'm there to reflect back, to guide you through it. And yeah, so that's my party favor to you. And Jenny has posted the link in the chat. Now, let's have a little Q&A time. I'd love to hear your reflections on what I delivered today in terms of our personal and planetary peduncles. And if you don't know what that is, you got to read my book because it's basically the place where we go from expansion to contraction. Expansion to contraction is that place in the middle, that crunchy place that is asking us to change and grow. Not always comfortably, but that's what it's about. So does anybody want to comment or have a question or anything like that? Yeah, Lisa.
I just want to say I'm so happy to be here with you and everyone, and happy birthday, happy arrival date, and on such an epic day, and for what you're sharing. I just want to mention something because I love numbers, and 71, 7 plus 1 is 8. I don't know if that crossed your mind, but very fitting. And yeah, everything you've shared, everything you always share, Hope, is so confirming. It just helps me feel aligned,
Mm,
and uh, and always triggers some awarenesses, and deeper contemplation,
mm.
and encouragement. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again, and and also with the the dowsing course, because I was sort of bugging you about that way back when, and then I was a little bit intimidated by the pricing, but of course, I mean it's of course, like with your experience, and the level of, I know what it's going to be, and I have to bring myself to the level, and I'm getting to this level, of course, directly from your dowsing. So I'm just putting this together now. If it wasn't for your dowsing, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So I think it's a no-brainer for me to go for. And with your 30% discount, it equalizes our Canadian the so
Oh, good.
yeah,
Very good.
so I'll have to I intend to do that. I'll have to see how the timing is and everything. But I just want to thank you and thank everybody for being here with this collective energy and being able to attend today and just so much love to you and to everyone here.
Oh, Lisa, thank you so much. You're right. I'm remembering. Yes, you came to have a session to ask about a certain direction to take
Yeah,
career-wise, and it's working out. So
it's
I'm really happy.
yeah, everything has changed. And with what I'm going to be able to do with what you were saying today and the new community I'm in and how I'm reaching out, and like it's just complete trajectory shift. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm so happy for you. Really,
Thank you.
so happy. Anybody else want to chime in here? Yes, Jose.
Hello, everyone. I just want to add to Lisa. Thank you for the dowsing course. I was hesitant to join just because of the difference in money for us Canadians, and it's a no-brainer now. It was because it's like, oh, how do I do it? And the timing of this morning for me, I didn't think I could just sit and listen, and it's always so good, so good. There's a calming and recentering that happens for me when I listen to you and the same group that shows up. So I'm very grateful for that. Um, and yeah, the dowsing is, I know it too. By experience, it's like wow. And it's the trusting. There was somebody with Teresa, I think it was, with one of your interviews. The trusting, even though when you're scared, and that hit me because it I was scared and I'm still scared. But it's to be at that place and to still do it um, is quite something. And I think the dowsing helps to get to a place of going, okay, I really don't know. I really don't know. But helps to bridge that to jump. So dowsing's super big and everything else you do too. Yeah, it's amazing. Mm. And
Jose,
happy birthday, fun fact.
oh, thank you. Jose, uh you really walked the line in terms of risk this year, and you returned to get confirmation several times, and you received the same, direction. Um, and I just want to honor you because it's at those times
Mm.
when we are scared and we cannot see around the corner that trust is developed. That's when it happens. It doesn't happen when we can figure it out. It happens when we can't, and we dare. And that is the leap of faith. That will never go out of your being now.
Mm.
That will never leave you. It's a new foundation upon which your spiritual growth is going to be built.
Mm.
And apparently you needed it to come in just that way. You needed to get your pants scared off you to, and I did too. Believe me, I get it. I did too. I needed a big frying pan.
Yeah,
So
that thing jumping off the cliff and you hope your parachute opens up and you're going, okay, well, it has to, period. And the other thing you said this morning, I interrupted you, sorry.
that's okay.
You said this morning, swim with it, don't resist. And it's like, I know it, but to hear it again is like, oh yeah, I see myself floating on the water. And it should be in the infinity wave. I can float for a while when it gets too much.
That's
So
right.
thank you for the reminders.
Thank you very much for sharing and for your trust. It means a lot to me personally.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Ms. Jan.
Well, how like you on the day we want to be gifting you to really be gifting us. And what a gift you are. And it does make me think of course, the infinite loop of giving and receiving. And in my Substack inbox this morning came a post from, is his name Robert Hubble or the Hubble of Hubble? He posted a picture of something called the Markarian chain, which are it's a group of 8 galaxies that acts as one object,
Oh,
50
wow.
to 60 million light years away. And
Oh,
I am
wow.
certain if we connect the dots to those galaxies, we are going to have that beautiful recursive of giving and receiving. And we know as above, so below. So thank you for gifting us with the gift of you, and to your mother who gifted us all those years ago. And I just want to say what a gift you are in my life and all of our lives. And I'm so glad you're going to be making more opportunities to teach, because that really is your special gift to us, is what you can teach. And happy birthday.
Thank you, my dear friend. I love you so much.
I love you so
Mwah.
much.
I want to
Mwah.
see a picture of that constellation or whatever that is.
Okay, I'll send you the post.
Okay, thank you, honey. Uh, okay, we have time for 1 or 2 more, and then I think I'll go in and do the transmission.
Somebody posted a question in the chat.
Okay.
Solavino.
Can you read it?
Sure. Forgiveness. What is it exactly, Hope? When ultimately there are only choices good, bad, and worse, where does the concept of forgiveness even fit in where free will exists? Pretty profound.
Forgiveness, as it has been taught to me in an extremely dramatic way by a gathering of feminine deities. And I was with Jan, who you just saw at the time, is the ultimate expression of free will. It also, in my mind, is the ultimate spiritual practice. It has many layers to it. Most of us have only been taught the icing on the cake, not the cake itself. Forgiveness involves reckoning with oneself, and at the same time that it's hard to explain. You need the practice. You need the practice. And it is the last practice on my 2 set of practices that are in my store. And it's the last practice for a reason, because it is this ultimate thing. And what I've been taught over the years through the infinity wave and the other beings who have been guiding me and teaching me is that one needs to sort of work their way through all the practices in order to be ready to do the forgiveness practice in full. And when I recorded that practice many years ago now, I opened my mouth to start to speak, but instead I started to sing. This melody came out of me, and I realized that it's called Lullaby of Isis, because I believe that's who was singing through me. And that preceded the forgiveness practice in the recording, and because for a reason, it softens the field and it prepares the person to be in the state that's needed for complete forgiveness. I recommend doing the lullaby, the forgiveness practice, and then the lullaby. It's kind of a sandwich because it helps to ease the experience afterwards. All I can tell you without, I can't break it down for you right now because words don't really do it. As we know, in many things that are esoteric, words are highly inadequate. Highly inadequate to describe the ineffable. So, but I can tell you that what I learned from this forgiveness practice has changed everything in my understanding and my ability to navigate this world. It has freed me up a tremendous amount and truly freed, not just surface freed, truly deeply freed. So I can point you to those practices and encourage you to do them, but to take it on, to take on the choice, and this is where the free will comes in, to forgive is it's a beautiful act. It's a beautiful act, and it changes everything. So that's my response to that. Good question. Okay. Are we any other questions I need to answer before we dive in here?
I think you're good.
All right. Let me just pull up the music. And while I'm getting into the space, which shouldn't take long because I've been in the space all morning, let's wave one another. Whoever, whatever beautiful face you see or name on the screen there, let's start just by waving from one heart to the other. And here we go. Dearest souls, this is a time of great upheaval, a time when all that is seemingly fixed will become unfixed. This applies to the physical world as well as the thoughtful one. The matrices of ideation and creation are shifting and rearranging. This is being done in concert with Gaia, with your planetary bodies, with your galaxy, indeed with your universe. This is intended, this is meant as a harbinger, as a opening, as a graceful and sometimes not so graceful beginning. Use it well, dear ones, use it well. Take into your core right now the import of how you choose your next steps, how you align to what your purpose is. And that purpose may be simply acting as a light beacon, making everyone's day better. Or it may be grander, and you have been holding back. Now is not the time to hold back. Now is the time to step forward if that is what is urging you, pushing up through the dark soils to emerge into the sun. If you are being pushed in such a way, do not hesitate, but grow. Make yourself be known. Make your message be known. More and more people are emerging from a deep sleep and awakening into a world they do not understand, that you have been exploring already. You do understand to the extent that you can. Therefore, lead the way. If that is what is pushing you. There is no time for hesitation now. There is only stepping off, taking the great leap, and by the way, enjoying your jump. As we have said in the past, your enjoyment of your life matters. It is a gift that you clamored for, you begged for, and you were determined to use it. Use it now, dear friends, use it now. let your minds create something new, something you have never tried before. Stretch yourself beyond your limitations. See what you can materialize, see how you can become more faceted. The energy of this fire horse and the Aries momentum join together to give you free rein. So in this time, this precious, precious time, let us come together now with a pledge. A pledge to work together. A pledge to walk in oneness. A pledge to remain in compassion. And a pledge to keep it simple in the stillness. That is our wish for you on this day, this brand new day and era. We love you, we support you, we are with you. We are the Hathors. Well, I guess we have our marching orders. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, a beautiful week, a beautiful month and year. And I hope to see you around. I love you very, very much. And I appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you, Hope. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Much, much.
Happy birthday, Hope.
Happy Equinox.
Thank you, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Wishing you the best year yet.
Thank you.
So, like